Today we're talking about David Blaine. Yes, you heard me right. You know, the magician, illusionist, performer. If you don't know who he is, 1 and 2, both of them, how dare you? And 3, go find his stuff online. You can probably find clips of his old stuff. It's great. So, he started off doing magic, then he kind of transitioned more into doing like these stunts, more or less. Couple notable ones here. He was buried alive in 1999. He was in a plastic crate buried under a 3-ton water tank or something along those lines. He was in a block of ice. He was on a 100-foot pillar for 35 hours. He was in a plexiglass case over the River Thames in London. He was in some type of sphere where he was essentially underwater for a long period of time. And there were some other ones here and there that I don't really remember as much. But the one I want to talk about happened, well, today, September 2nd. It was called David Blaine Ascension. Now, this Ascension was produced by YouTube and put on his channel as a live stream, which I didn't know he had a YouTube channel. That's pretty dope. And it was a pretty neat stunt. So what he did, he was out in Arizona, I believe, out on this smaller airport, and he had about 50 balloons or so, like big helium balloons, like weather balloon sized, and he was harnessed in. He also had a parachute on his back, and so what he did was he went up. I think his official height was like 25,000 feet or something insane like that. And he then dove and then opened up the parachute and landed. Now, this sounds very like short and like I'm making it sound like it's, no feet, but going up in a 50 weather balloon thing. And just him, like he had a couple layers of clothes on, like a harness. There was nothing else around him. So it's like, oh, he also had an air tank. Because obviously the air is going to be a lot thinner that high up for safety. And it was pretty neat. I saw a tweet about it from, I don't remember who, but it was like, when I tuned in, they were about 10 minutes away from launch. I'm like, okay, perfect. Because I saw like the video was like 2 hours long. Or an hour and a half long. I'm like, what is all this other stuff? And it's just like, it was just the story of like how he started doing it, like practicing and working this stunt out. I'm like, that's cool and all, but I want to see him go up in 50 balloons and then land. I hope he does more stuff in the future. He probably will. This is the first time in a couple years that he did something. I think he kind of does something big like this every couple years. But yeah, it was pretty amazing. And that's all she wrote. Later, peeps.